This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Wednesday, September the 26th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, it's the choice between sacrifice or the total collapse of the country. That was the sobering warning coming last night from Acting Prime Minister Dale Marshall, who told holders of government treasury bills and debentures that they must accept the new offer and take a little less in returns so the country can repay the $1.7 billion it owes. He was speaking during debate in the House of Assembly on the debt holder approval of Debt Restructuring Bill 2018, which was eventually passed.
I hope that nobody in the Democratic Labour Party ever raises their voice to talk about the cost of professional services for anything. But what is more important, sir, is that every penny that we have paid so far has shown this country deliverables. Record negotiation with the IMF, unheard of anywhere in the world, sir.
Marshall also announced that Barbadians will soon know how many tax dollars are being paid to the consultants hired by the Mayor Motley government to work on its debt restructuring program. However, he said the total legal and professional fees being paid to the team is less than the $3.15 million which a certain Queen's Counsel charged and was paid by the former Democratic Labour Party government between November last year and May this year. Marshall also cited two other lawyers, he said, charged the former government millions of dollars for work he claimed that in at least one case was incomplete.
The stark reality is that this is a choice between getting back most or getting none. That's it, sir. Because we owe people $1.7 billion that we do not have and struggling to try to find a way to get it, sir. So all we're saying is, let us give you a little less at this point. Because if you don't allow us to give you a little less at this point, then you're putting us in a position where we won't be able to give you any at all. Plain and simple. This is a choice between sacrifice or the total collapse of this state.
In other news now, the newly constituted Employment Rights Tribunal has put a temporary halt to any further public hearings of unfair dismissal cases since replacing the Hal Gollop-led body on August the 12th. New chairman of the 9-member tribunal, retired Justice Christopher Blackman, told Barbados Today there are some aspects of the act governing the ERT which are causing him concern and they first must be amended before any new cases are heard. The former judge said one of the main changes he proposed relates to the oath of office of the commissioners on the tribunal.
The tribunal is given the powers of a court, particularly when you add the matters of the sexual harassment legislation to it. But the tribunal itself is not being sworn by anyone, yet is being empowered to administer oaths to people. And it seemed to me to be a little bit of an anomaly that we are invested with the right to swear people as one of the commissions will inquire at. But we ourselves have not been given an oath of office to do our job in a way that commissions or tribunals are supposed to do.
Meanwhile, the tribunal delivered its verdict on October the 9th in a case from the previous body where Emerson Bascom is challenging his dismissal by the Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Welcome back with news from the region now. A 41-year-old man in Guyana accused of raping a 15-year-old girl has committed suicide. The body of Sherwin Apple, also called Yellow, a clothes vendor, was discovered on the Kitty seawall Tuesday. He reportedly ingested carbon tablets. Apple and another male appeared in a video having sex with an underage girl, and police said they have not ruled out foul play. In other regional news, educational officials in Antigua and Barbuda are clamping down on students who loiter on the streets after school in their uniform. The Ministry of Education is promising stricter enforcement of the regulations, including a proposal to make such loitering a criminal offense.
The Ministry of Education has condemned the acts of school children loitering after school hours in and around St. John's. They have partnered with the Royal Police Force of Antigua and Barbuda to clamp down on loitering school children. Director of Education Claire Brown says this has been an issue plaguing the ministry for a number of years.
This is something that we are wrestling with. Students are supposed to go home after school. By law, the Education Act of 2008 of Antigua and Barbuda speaks to the schools, principals, and the Ministry of Education, the Director of Education, being responsible for students to school, during school, and on their way home from school.
He indicated that the ministry is not taking lightly the fact that children are loitering in school uniform after hours.
And on the international scene, U.S. President Donald Trump and Iranian President Hassan Rouhani exchanged taunts at the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday, with Trump vowing more sanctions against Tehran and Rouhani suggesting his American counterpart suffers from a weakness of intellect. More in this Reuters report.
The leaders of the United States and Iran traded verbal attacks on the world stage at the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday. U.S. President Donald Trump calling Tehran a corrupt dictatorship.
Iran's leaders sow chaos, death, and destruction.
Iranian President Hassan Rouhani retorted, accusing the American leader of, quote, fomenting extremist nationalism and racism, and even, quote, tendencies resembling a Nazi disposition.
The government of the United States, at least the current administration, seems determined to make all international institutions ineffectual.
The war of words coming as the Trump administration seems to have identified Tehran as its primary opponent at the UN gathering, a role last year occupied by North Korea. On the sidelines of the General Assembly, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo called out Iran for supporting militant groups across the Middle East.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izubi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Now, you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.